now 2024, 23, 20, from 2021, 22, 23, coming to 2024 elections no. One policy na chese na eka Mahama policies no ho a at the same time so na chese MPP for chairman na omo ankasa na omo ka omo policy anase omo ka se omo de omo policy beba, but ekwaya say policy na omo de aba omo ntimi explaining yi. But yes, as a one ankasa wo say o me ba me say but nema ade a wa ankasa wo kan so as a wanted the wo pa channel say it got to a time na to say men can say media people and as I can say comedies comedies the comedians maybe me refinity kaka I don't know say na DKB or somebody like that. I stand to be corrected at the year senka or year advert at the amount, but they stopped him from it because almost see how I was explaining a 24-hour economy. Now to say the papa and I say the way or more pen no. But you could time an year campaign, you could see say in front of and answer when some of the NDC were asked to explain the meaning of 24-hour economy. Now to say quiet as a watchibidi as a explaining sorry you and shada animu papasa and farmer ebinum. Na ene after say ya to about Ediama His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama no just a wabe president no na 24-hour economy. I think so you minister crowd be a or had that kind of vibe. Yes. Na wakopiem ewo Saudi Arabia mine mu na Saudi Arabia mine mu omumpanyimfo no ene yenso yen president no ekodi nkomo edefa 24-hour economy no how a almost be implemented omo economy no amana boa and how they can also help Ghana to boost our economy. We asempa. In fact, nimdie news there. Asempa na ba ye de bremo. Asem no baby e free baby a try say e feed them ye de bremo na mo so moanya news no from all angles. See the be ya obi kan mo so mbetimi ayede ekemi. Ye kwani akotie omo ebra His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama ekopiem Saudi Arabia. And when the discussion was on a 24-hour economy, abusuya jebrani yanko je emu nchechemu.
The 24-hour economy plan is not just a policy shift, it is a game changer. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you are aligning Ghana's ambition to become an economic powerhouse in Africa and in the world. Congratulations, Mr. President. By extending business operation beyond traditional hours, this plan has the potential to boost productivity, create millions of jobs, and position Ghana as a regional hub for trade and investment. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA, we strongly believe in investing in economies that give priority to productivity, innovation, and integration. This is why we stand ready to support Ghana's economic transformation agenda, including enhancing trade infrastructure to facilitate seamless business operation into the 24-hour economy, expanding energy and transport networks to ensure business can operate efficiently around the clock, providing targeted financing for SMEs to create jobs, ensure that private sector can fully participate in this economic new model.
Those resources are not to be wasted on opulence and extravagance. I've asked the Chief of Staff to write to all government appointees that I've imposed a ban on non-essential travel forthwith to cut down expenditure. Any travel that is deemed essential and necessary must be cleared first with the Office of the Chief of Staff, and such travels will have to be undertaken in modesty, no first class. Also, all traces of affluence and lavish lifestyle are to be avoided. The people of Ghana are enduring difficult times occasioned by hardships resulting from the economic mismanagement of the last 8 years. And ours is to work to lift them out of this hole.
How old are you now?
Well, based on the extrapolation that was done to be able to get me my date of birth, it says I should be about 54 now.
So, based on your date of birth on page 1 of your CV, which states you were born October 17th, 1971, you are 54 now.
I should be heading towards 54.
Very well. So you are 53 now.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Senior, in 2009, how old were you? In 9 February, how old were you?
Probably around 37.
So you would agree with me that you had not reached that prime age of 40. As they say, life begins at 40, correct?
Yeah, obviously.
Now, a lot of Ghanaian youth are watching you now. First, share with us useful public life lessons you learned between that age of 37 when you came into public life and now that you are 53 back again into mainstream public life. And for the avoidance of doubt, the public life phrase as I've used now means getting into the executive arm of government. So I'm defining my public life to mean the executive arm of government.
Well, thank you very much, Minority Leader. You are perfectly right. I mean, I want to believe that even when you yourself came to this house some 12, 13 years ago, you admit that I think I was then the majority whip. I was more aggressive than today over the period. Well, as you age, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from the mistakes of others, you read more widely, you experience so many other things. So you learn so much. And the tendency for you to think and review and probably even share with others before you act is much better when you are older than when you are younger. Also, let me also say that in 2009, I had just finished my first term, I started my second term, And frankly speaking, I had never worked with even any government sector. I mean, I was the type, when I completed school, never wanted to work for anybody. I wanted to work for myself. So the closest I did was to work in the private sector. And you know, in the private sector, the attitude, the way of doing things are completely different from the public sector, where in the public sector, age is matter, seniority matter, all those things matter, and what have you. And the buck sometimes does not necessarily end with you. I mean, you could be the minister, but the buck may not necessarily end with you. Today, I have been in the system for long. I have learned, I mean, you will admit, I've been even in Pan-African Parliament alone. I've been there for over a decade, traveled across the world, at the continent. You see so much. That makes you act differently from when you were much younger, that you didn't have the kind of experience that you have when you are in your 50s. So definitely there's a huge difference between my good self. I can tell myself that sometimes my children wonder and say, that, why are you tolerating this from this constraints? I said, don't worry, the person is young. When he grows, he will understand. So yes, I've learned so much. Well, my understanding of hometown is where you are born, or where your parents are born, or where your parents hail from, or your grandfather hail from. So it's just too unfortunate that in our country, our belief is that make reference to only where your grandfather counts. But I think it's absolutely wrong, because if we are going to do that, then all of us will leave this country. We will all not be Ghanaians, because everybody came from somewhere, then moved to somewhere and somewhere and somewhere. So me, my hometown is Kumasi. That's where I was born and bred. That is where I have lived. I have siblings who do not even know Techiman, not alone to get to Tamale. Yes, I'm a Southerner with a northern background, and I'm proud of it. I attended Tamale Secondary School. I get to know the families. I visited Kumbungu, where my grandfather hails from, and I'm happy to be at the Gumba. But I was born and bred in Kumasi, and I use Kumasi as my hometown, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Share with us a bit of your northern background.
Well, my grandfather, I'm told, my great-grandfather, I'm told, hailed from Kumbung. My grandfather was born around Kumbung, grew up in Kumbung, moved in trading through Salaga, and landed in Kumasi through the challenges that you know that is between the north and the south. So my grandfather died in Kumasi. His grave was buried in Kumasi. My father grew up in Kumasi, also died in Kumasi. My mother, born in Tamale and moved to Kumasi, I'm told, when she was just about 2 years, and has since been in Kumasi to today. I was born and bred in Kumasi. My father has 41 of us. I'm number 14, and all of us born, I think with the exception of 2 that my father said they were born in Salaga. All the others, 39 of us, born and bred in Kumasi. And it is Kumasi that all of us have ever known. Our assets, our larger family. Yes, we have the extended family, we visit and we are proud of them. Some are in Salaga, some of my sisters married, have taken them to Salaga. Some of my sisters are in Tamale. Ras Mubarak is my direct nephew. His mother is my direct sister. She's my father's fifth born, but she married, took her back to Tamale. Some of my siblings are in Germany, some are in London, who are now British. Some are in America, who are now Americans. So I am born and bred in Kumasi, and I'm proud of that, and I see Kumasi as my hometown, and I will remain proud of being a Kumarican.